fair. It ain't supposed to be fair. It's how it works.
How are you doing, Killian?
What?
When I close my eyes and dream,
What?
they're gonna put a picture of me on the cover of the magazine. And the entire world will know my name.
What up, y'all? It's your man, Mr. Mars Sharp, Short Man Filmworks in the building. And we have another episode of the Everyday Man's Film Reviews for you guys this evening. All right. So we are going to be talking about the recent release of Magazine Dreams starring Jonathan Majors. And I believe this movie, when I was reading up on it, I believe this movie was released at Sundance in 2023. And it was supposed to be released 2 years ago. But in the midst of all the controversy that was going on with Jonathan Majors, they had it pushed back to this year, which I think the controversy with him happened earlier. I want to say late in the year of last year, or was it earlier last year? Sometime last year, the controversy went on with him, so the film was pushed back. But I believe it was a good push, because I think this movie brought out Jonathan Majors' acting chops. Even though he's already, I want to say he's on his way up there to being a top tier actor, because his performance in this movie was excellent. I enjoyed his performance in his movie. But getting to the actual movie itself, and I'm not gonna run this too long, because I know it's a new movie, and I know there's a lot of people out there who haven't seen the movie yet, and there probably some people out there that kind of really don't know about the movie, because when I went to go see the movie, I kind of had to, I didn't want to say I had to search for it, but it was only in select theaters. So I don't know if this was slated to be a major release of this movie, but if you have it in your town, go check it out, because it is a good film. But the movie deals with the character of Killian Maddox, who's taking care of his ailing grandfather. Well, he's taking care of his ailing grandfather, and he has aspirations of being a professional bodybuilder. And we see what's going on in Killian's life at the moment. He's a bit awkward. Well, maybe I shouldn't say awkward, but he's a little bit on the, I guess you can't say he's a little bit on the socially awkward side, where he's kind of, I felt like with this film, he was living in his own world, which you can see he's living in his own world, and he has this obsession with becoming a professional bodybuilder. I mean, obsessed, to his workouts, to him trying to, get himself known, posting videos on YouTube, to him, to the amount of food that he eats, and all the things that he looks at, to the pictures of bodybuilders that he has on his walls. He's obsessed with becoming this bodybuilder, almost to the fact where this is what he does. He eats, lives it, breathes it, sleeps it. This is all that he wants to do. And I think I think a little bit too, what I was getting from this movie as well, I think the character of Killian has a little bit of mental issues going on with him, where, like I said, he's living in his own world. He's kind of living in his own head, and he has his own thoughts, and you can see that he's socially awkward, which I say the first time. You can see that he's socially awkward with a lot of the interaction that he has going on in this film. So I feel like with this film, it's more of it's one of those movies where you follow a particular person's life. Kind of one of those, I guess, one of those artsy films, one of those artsy, I don't want to say grindhouse, but one of those artsy films where you kind of if you into this type of movie, if this is your type of movie, I think you would I'm gonna say get a kick out of it, but I think you will enjoy this movie. And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the movie, because I did enjoy the movie. I enjoyed the movie for Jonathan Majors' acting. You know what I mean? And it reminds me of what he was doing in Creed a tad bit, but he still was different. But it still was kind of shades of that character that he played in Creed. Instead of him being kind of like this tough guy that he was in Creed, he's more inward in this film. And I guess it reminds me of the character because of how jacked Jonathan Majors is. Jonathan Majors is fucking jacked in this movie too. Woo, the man is jacked. I mean, if you see this movie, it'll make you want to go. It'll make you want to go work out. It definitely makes you want to go work out seeing this movie because of the work that he put in and the commitment that he put into what he did for this role. But overall, man, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this movie. Will I see it again? Maybe. I can't say I won't see it again because usually a lot of times when I'm watching movies for the first time, I'm watching it just for the sheer enjoyment of watching the movie. I'm not really doing no studying of the movie when I'm watching it for the first time. So I know there's going to be a whole lot of things that I'm going to go back and I'm going to catch the second time I watch it. So usually when I do see a movie, I always end up watching it the second time because there's a lot of things that I catch the second time around and seeing this movie. So I know there's a lot of things I missed. So to say that I will see it again, I will see this movie again just for a lot of the things that I missed and to see if there's anything more with the character that I can grasp. You know what I mean? So as I said, man, we get a look into Killian's life and we see what he's going through, you know, the mental aspect of what he's going through and, you know, how he's dealing with becoming this bodybuilder and taking care of his grandfather and his backstory where, you know, he mentions that his mother and father was killed while he was actually on a date in the movie, you know, and that was a real awkward moment, you know what I mean? So as I said, you see how awkward this character is. You know, but other than that, man, watching this movie, you feel for Killian. You know, I know for me, I don't know about anybody else who has seen this movie, but watching this movie, you feel for Killian because you see how bad he wants what he wants. And if you are striving for anything in his life, any goal that you're trying to strive for, anything that you're trying to achieve, anything that you're trying to get up out of, any passion that you have, you know, you can't help but to feel for him, you know, almost to the point where there's a part in the movie where he's so passionate about what he wants that it's almost like he's willing to do anything, you know what I mean? And it was, I don't want to say, there was a scene in the movie that I don't want to say made me uncomfortable, but it made me a tad bit uncomfortable because I was like, damn, he really wants it this bad, you know what I mean? So I feel for him. I mean, not to say that I'm going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything for what it is I want for my passions. But I feel him where he wants to achieve so bad, man. And he has this mindset where he's like, hey, when I become who I'm going to become, you know, people are going to remember me. People are going to remember my name. People are going to remember who I am. You know what I mean? And you know, he's chasing after what he wants to go after. You know, and that's admirable. You know what I mean? So I got an understanding, or anybody. I feel like I had an understanding of what he was doing. Anybody can have an understanding of what he's doing, because if you want to achieve something, then of course you're gonna have that drive and that push and that motivation to get at it every single day, no matter how hard it is, no matter how troubling or how daunting it is. You know, you're gonna go after it as much as you can. You're gonna push for it, you know. So yeah, I'm not gonna go any further because I don't want to start giving up the movie, because you know, y'all know me with these movie reviews. Once I start talking, I start giving up shit. So I really don't want to give up a lot of the movie. But what I will say is kudos to Elijah Bynum, who wrote this movie and directed it. You know, so kudos to him with his vision and a lot of what he was doing with the film. There's a lot of things in this film that are interesting. You know, a lot of the camera angles, a lot of the shots, a lot of the way it was shot. I enjoyed the way it was shot because it made you kind of look at what was going on with Killian. You know, we get kind of like, a lot of times we get a lot of, I don't want to say POV shots, but we kind of get into the head of Killian, but then we also get shots of what's going on around him. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, Elijah Bynum did a great job creating that that atmosphere. You know, I'm trying to figure out what kind of feeling did it leave me with. It left, like I said, it left me with a I don't want to say an uncomfortable feeling, but I can't put my finger on it, man. I can't put my finger on what kind of feeling I had coming out of this film. You know what I mean? I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed at all. But it left me with a tad bit of an uneasy feeling. Maybe because of what was going on with Killian and, you know, digging into his brain and seeing what's going on with him and all the stuff that he was dealing with at the time in the movie. So I think that's probably one of the main things that really kind of made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable to the point where I won't watch the film again. You know what I mean? So go check out this film. Starring Jonathan Majors is in this film. Like I said, Jonathan Majors did a bang up job. You know, in spite of all the stuff that he's been going through with the situation with his I don't know if his ex-girlfriend now or recent girlfriend. I don't know if they got back together or whatever. But then again, no, because I think he had a thing going on. I think he's engaged in Making Good or something like that. You know, I keep up with this stuff, but I don't keep up with it. You know what I mean? But everybody, you know, kind of everybody wanted to slam him for what happened to him. But, you know, we all human beings, man. We all human beings. We all live life. We all go through things. And you got to show some kind of grace and mercy. You know what I mean? Everybody is so quick to judge a situation where nobody really knows all the context of what is going on. Even though, you know, there's been videos and audio of what was going on between him and his ex-girlfriend, we still don't know 100% of everything that was going on between them two. And be honest with you, do we really care? For real. Do we really care? This is this man's life. Let that man live. Let him do his thing, because we all got shit going on with us. So let that man live. Let him do his thing. Let him live. You know what I mean? But that's on the side note. On the main point, the man is a great actor. He's a great actor, and you know, I enjoyed his performance. His performance was I think his performance was amazing, man. Just for him bringing out this particular emotion that was going on with this character. You know what I mean? The different things he was going through and where his headspace was and what he was thinking about. And, you know, it was to see him to see Jonathan Majors beat his character was, was awesome, man. You know, great job. You know what I mean? And I want to point out some other actors and actresses, but it's kind of like, you know, the movie centers around him. You know, and there are a couple other performances in the movie, which is great. You know, the young lady that played his, I don't want to say his girlfriend, young lady that played his love interest, which didn't really turn into a love interest. I'm giving shit away. But anyway, the lady that he's interested in, let me put it to like that. The lady that he's interested in, for what she was there for what she did, made it very convincing. She made it very convincing of how uncomfortable she was being around him. You know, and that was interesting as well. The dude that plays his idol, Brad Vanderhorn, but that's his name. That's the character in the movie, Brad Vanderhorn. Oh God, there's another part of this movie that reminds me of the song by Eminem called "Stan," where he's writing fan mails to Brad Vanderhorn and he doesn't get no response, but then he actually does get a response, which leads to some other uncomfortable shit in the movie. But yeah, that gave me vibes of that. So I'm wondering if Elijah Bynum kind of took that as inspiration for this film with that particular part. I wonder if he kind of took inspiration, because when I was seeing that on the screen, I was reminded of that song. From top to bottom, I was like, oh my God, this reminds me of the song "Stan" by Eminem. You know, so that was interesting as well. And then another part that was small in there that I enjoyed was the woman that played his counselor. You can see in her face that she feels for Killian and how troubled Killian is. She wears it all on her face, man. And kudos to the lady that played this counselor, because she's asking him questions And while she's asking him questions, what Elijah Bynum does, while she's talking to Killian, you can hear Killian off screen, and the camera focuses on her face, and you can just see how troubled she is listening to him. Oh, amazing, man! It was that was amazing. Every time she was on the screen, you can see that she's like, "Yo, this guy has some issues." You know what I mean? Not to the point where she's like, he has some issues and I don't want to deal with him, but she's more like, he has issues and he needs help, and I want to help him, but I don't know how to help him. You know what I mean? If I'm making sense with that. So yeah, man. So, you know, to the performances that was in the movie, and it's a short cast, it's a small cast, it's not a big cast. To the performances in the movie, great job. To Elijah Bynum, kudos to you for writing a great story. Kudos to you for directing a great movie. You know, so getting to the scale, I would give Magazine Dreams, I give it 3 thumbs up. I give it 3 thumbs up for story, for direction, for performances. You know, I would give it 3 thumbs up. And I would say, if you're gonna go check it out, would I say go check it out in a movie theater or wait till it streams? Because, you know, stuff starts streaming like 2-3 weeks after the movie comes out in the movie theater. Go check it out in a movie theater. If you got the time, if you got the time on your hands to go check it out, go check it out. Good film. It's a good movie. If you're into these type of movies, I think this would be your cup of tea. If you're not into these artsy type movies, I can't say it's gonna be for you. You know, I'm a little bit on, I'm gonna say on the fence. I like a little bit of it all. I'm a movie dude. You know what I mean? I like a little bit of those artsy type films. I like an action film. I like a popcorn movie. I'm a film nut. I like movies. You know what I mean? So seeing something like this doesn't bother me because I can switch gears. I can enjoy this movie just as much as I can enjoy an action movie. So it's one of those movies where you're either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. It's one of those. I'll put it to you like that. You're either gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. I don't think there's gonna be in between. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna go check out the movie, check it out. If you've seen Magazine Dreams, drop some comments down below. Let me know what you thought about it and let me know how you feel about it. All right. Well, with that being said, this is let me get my intro. It's been so long since I did this, and like I said, man, a lot of times I be wanting to do these movie reviews, but I get caught up in other things. But we get back on it. We're gonna keep on doing it. All right. So I'm your man, Mr. Mar Sharp. This is Short Man Film Works, and these are the Everyday Man's Film Reviews. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good day, and I will see y'all on the next one.